everybody, welcome to week 10 of Fire Academy. This entire week has been all about wildland firefighting. So in the classroom, the recruits learned about the different elements of fire behavior with wildland, including fuel, weather, and topography. Then they went out into the elements over at the Douglas County Law Enforcement Training Center, where they learned about progressive hose lays, mobile attack, along with digging line.
Travis McConnell, firefighter, South Metro. Today we went over basic Type 3 operations, which involves also progressive packs, so the full progressive pack deployment and how they are going to be doing that online. With mobile attack, with these engines, we can actually be driving them while we're pumping water, and that's like a big difference between the structure engines. Structure engines, we got to stay put in one spot and pump from there. With these Type 3s, we can engage the pump, we can be rolling and pumping and utilize the booster rails to engage fire as we're rolling. So we've got suction hose, hard suction hose up here. We use that. We've got two different sizes actually, the 2.5 and 5 inch. And we use that for drafting operations. If we're out in the urban interface, out in the wildland arena, and we don't have a hydrant, we can go up to static water sources and actually pull water out of ponds, out of rivers, you name it. Anywhere it's not a hydrant, we can pull water out with those hoses. Just like our Type 6 engines, we carry progressive packs in here, and that's what the recruits are working on at this station. So that's if we cannot do our mobile attack, we're going to switch over to our progressive packs. And that is when we cannot drive, so maybe there's a ravine, maybe there's vegetation, maybe it's swampy area where we can't get our Type 3 through there. We're going to deploy our progressive packs. We have a saw compartment. So on our wildland rigs, each rig should have a saw, and we've got specially certified members on the department that are allowed to use these saws. It's a little bit different from the structure side where everyone kind of gets certified through Academy. Through the wildland side, you have to go through specialized training in order to drop trees, in order to use these saws on the wildland side. This is a Horseshoe hose load. We put this on some of our rigs, not all of them have it, and this is basically specifically for structure protection. So if we go into a neighborhood and we're going to protect a structure, we can back into the driveway and we can deploy this hose, and this can go around the house. And if something happens, we need to pick up, go to another structure, or get back to our safety zone. We've got a lot of the same tools that we have on the structure engine, like the Halligan, the pig, but we also have some specialized tools. It's called a rogue hoe. It's a pretty common tool we use in the wildland side. It's for digging line, putting out fire. We can scratch line with it. We also have fusees. These can be used for firing operations. Guys that are on the wildland team also have those on their packs. It's kind of like a safety thing where if something really bad happened, last resort, we can light off an area around us and take the fuel away from the fire to kind of protect us.
I'm Paul Slater. I'm a captain for South Metro Fire, and I'm also a wildland engine boss on our wildland team. Today we brought with us from our station Brush 36. It is a Type 6 truck. It carries 300 gallons of water, and we use it to do fast attack essentially for wildland fires or wildland urban interface fires here in South Metro's district. The technique of mobile attack is used when we have an approaching flame front or a flame front that is moving away from the apparatus. All you have to do is bring the truck into the black and fight the fire from the black. They'll deploy hose lines and put out the hot flank of the fire or the most active flank of the fire in regard to values at risk or homes, and they just extinguish the fire along that edge. This is a very small, agile piece of apparatus. It can get into and out of difficult difficult terrain. So if you have something that you have to go off-road, you can't take one of our Type 1 or structural engines off-road very easily. So this has four-wheel drive capabilities. You can take it into all kinds of terrain. And so it gives you the opportunity to fight the fire where it's best access, and it gives you the ability to do that when you have something this size. I think the biggest takeaways for doing the wildland portion of the Recruit Academy is that all of us, regardless of our team affiliation, are wildland firefighters. You have to be ready for this eventuality every day that you come to work. Most of our stations have brush trucks or tenders in them, so you have to recognize that you will be deployed in this situation. You will be fighting a wildland fire. You've got to understand the concepts behind it, know your strategy and tactics, and have a great general understanding of how to get it put out.
Steve Woodrick with South Metro Fire Rescue. Been with the department nearing 30 years. The firefighters behind me now are training to cut in a fire line we would use to either fire off of or maybe use to directly control a wildland fire. As one of my mentors talks about, a student of fire, and you kind of have to learn wildland fire. So you are going to see some different fire activities with these. Obviously the fuels are different. You don't have that superheated confined area, but the problem we do have that's a big safety concern is being able to see what that fire's doing. Like right now where we're working with the height of the oak brush, if there was a fire behind me over the hill, we have no way of seeing what that fire's doing. So whether it's coming our direction and we need to leave the area to a safety zone, a lot of different dynamic things. You know, if we're losing some grass and brush and a few trees in an open space, that's kind of a bad day. But if we start having structures threatened, those are people's homes, and the sense of urgency and our need to be ready to change to that mode, that can add some stress and time constraints to that fire.